You didn't stop by just to see me, did you? It's okay. Tell me.
The guy they say robbed this place,
The mask?
I think he was at the club last night.
Really? They say he's pretty weird looking.
Yeah, but you ought to see him dance.
Why is the sugar plum sweet? It must have been her darkest desire that I taste defeat. She brought a lot of light to electronica. It was Mortal Kombat, she was Katana. Obsessed with the notion of revealing the one who would have saved us from obliteration could be undone. She loved to play the gimmick of the babe in the woods, a cutie pie eager to portray as a butch. She was a tomboy, she slept with the girls but probably was bisexual and pissed with the world. She didn't like the way everything was controlled, and if you asked the shiny toy gun, she would revolt. A little hellraiser with the passion of a raver who considered shots of Jesus Christ a personal favor. The geisha on her arm really raised the alarm. Carmen Sandiego had you crying out darn. Hard to track down, harder to tweet to. She sang like a bird with the stomach to eat you. She claimed to have known the greatest prank of all time, but was waiting till she got crucified. She'd tweet 2 times a day and was constantly experimenting at the gay pride parades. They kicked her out the band, but they took her back. You wouldn't think the girl was your average pussycat. The focus on life was to follow the prophets, but what she did was almost like she swallowed her offspring. They almost won a Grammy when they brought us to the disco, but it's like she lost her marbles to the hungry, hungry hippos. The carrion was working overtime to devour what was left of Fantasia other than the ivory tower. A childlike empress in a manner of speaking, who considered many warriors apparently weaklings. She was the coldest alive, and nobody would touch her. She sang until the gold-plated rims were ruptured. Following her was like following buzzards, a social butterfly never acknowledging butters. You wouldn't believe all the fun she was having, even as she was hazing. Somebody amazing. The sugar plum didn't have a boggle at all when it came to ostracizing someone precious as Paul. And yet she really stuck around, you couldn't erase her. She came to me in spirit like she was my creator. It's funny how she wouldn't stop visiting me, as though to say I got a chance to have her invisibly. The little ones especially were intrigued by her, which was the same as sense of movement when along came a spider. She spun a web of lies to disguise her true mission. Historians will claim she was obsessed with position. She was the Marilyn Monroe over time, and if you don't mind, I'd like to share some of her rhymes.
I swear on my own, I'll shit on you like Mrs. Go Home. You can tell the silly boys to sick with playing trombone. This is a gathering of all of my faithful. Scott Osborne said it best, you should have been cradled. Nothing that you ever did ever impressed me. I would spit on you, but you would think it was sexy. You're nothing worth a tweet, but I may give you a twat. And certainly it isn't happening from riding your cock. You know I fuck chicks, you hardly arouse me. I'm hunting you down and collecting the bounty. Jackie's saving you whether you like it or not. You thought that Darth Vader was the Jack in the Box. You're my little puppet, I do what I want to. Even if I die, I promise I'll haunt you. Somebody convince you that this world will go away if we ever lost you, and yes your heart is gray. I'm speaking Japanese just to tag the Yakuza. Stare at me a while and you'll believe I'm Medusa. I ain't fucking playing, I really fuck you up. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. What you really need to know is who I really am. I love to tell you more, the clue is on your silver van. And I'm the silver dream, I'll make you a believer. You know I'll win the game and I'm an overachiever. I'm beating all you silly boys, you can watch and learn. You can't see me pussy hole like Jerry Perry's urn. I'll hurt you really bad in ways you'll hardly imagine. Then send your candy ass over to Meadowvale, Massachusetts. I've been waiting for you, I've been waiting alone. Little did you know it's like Attack of the Clones. I have a fucking minion that's as similar to me as every horror movie out there, like the killer from Scream. I didn't want to do this, but you've truly provoked me. You must have thought cannabis believed in you, homie. The trophy is the furthest thing from my lovely face, and we can ride the race cars like you had to have a double take. I'm flabbergasted how you found me your Achilles heel, and to keep it real, Church of the Faye wants you to kneel. I've got a silly boy for every shiny toy gun. Chad, Mikey, and Jeremy will make sure you're undone, as well as Sugar Plum. This word you keep on using, and it's got me pretty vexed, and you're the bastard I'm abusing. You should have contemplated acting straight edge, but you didn't. Yet I'm certain I'll be carving you into my graven image. The window might be open, but the door's been slammed shut. And on top of everything else, I hate your damn guts. Write a tribute album for somebody who cares. Or better yet, give up rap, you should say your prayers. You act like you're Jesus, you try looking like him. Tell me where the Bible talks about a precious island. Nobody likes you, Paul Perry, you clown. You want a utopia? Then rot inside the ground. The wackiest shit is your perspective on life, that everything will be alright as long as we have Jesus Christ. I've been pretty sure that there's a perfect replacement, and lately it's the girl inside the mirror, you faggot, which brings me to gaze. You should have been one. I'm sure there's still time. I really can't fuss. I can't seem to stress enough how hard I tried to turn you into my toy boy. You're living a lie. Whoever tried to tell you to be who you've become clearly didn't have a chit-chat with a shiny toy gun. The tattoo on your ass is like a breath of fresh air compared to all your heroism, and I hated Paul Bear. Oh, what's the matter? Did I hurt Nellie's feelings? Hey, piggy, I'll have you squealing. You think you're a demigod, don't you, you punk? Like Donnie Grandioso became your next friend. I'll never give up, terrorizing you, Polly. I'll even pay extra, like with guacamole. I guess you could say that this kitty has claws, but the cat's out the bag and she's doing it raw. Don't fuck around with a shiny toy gun. I love to yoink out the slimy boy's tongue. Worst part about it is you can't imagine the fact of the matter that I'm the queen dragon. Often I hardly even have to breathe, and I get more accomplished than pastors like Steve. Beanie likes Metallica, just like him, and I laughed when he said that you'll burn for your sins. You're small and you're puny, and Jesus and Jones should just give up on you and leave you alone. They're those two stars that I shattered over and over again. It cost you everything.
I'm convinced now more than my daughter's at risk. With reference, of course, to my dog called Precious. Corona came around in the form of a virus. Imagine the day where Bill Gates brings reliance. There's something very dark and deceitful occurring, and a lot of us are doing nothing more than observing. People like the sugar plum might be involved to some capacity, and it makes me repulsed. I wouldn't want the world to take a backward step, except the password's heck for every chapter next. It's almost like we're heading on a bullet train to heck. This is far from happy world land, just to be frank. For every dozen people preparing to contest, we've got a dozen more without the information process. If there is a shepherd, this is bad for the flock. If this is a dinghy, we've been permanently docked. Feeling isolated is a negative feeling when it's forced upon ourselves, like a slut with a G-string. It makes you want to cry out, what's this world coming to? The worst part about it is they're far from done with me. Hopelessness begins to actually set in, and I can paint a lemon gold, but I can't, damn it. The powers that be have killed the flowers to me. I'm not gonna stand for this, call me an ambulance. Resistance seems futile, but meanwhile it's needed. Or better yet, somebody spring up as Jesus. My misery has never been a mystery. You got the sense I sounded very biblically. It's time we get ready for a whole other show. And tell my little hoe, she's Marilyn Monroe.
It's funny you should mention the way he dances because I taught him a couple of dance moves myself.